Beats.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unhinged Live. As usual, I'm your host, Patrick Henson, joined tonight for the Yankees postgame by the man. He goes by Patiskivas Xenofontos. How we doing, Para?
I'm great, man. A beautiful win by the Yankees.
You
love to see it.
You love to see it. 3-1 against the Rays in the Trop. The Yankees never win in the Trop, so you really love to see that. But before we get into anything from the game tonight, shout out to everybody currently in the chat. Let's take attendance/roll call. You guys know the deal. We got Joseph, Austin, Ed King, the artist of the century, Matt, Leanna, Yankee fan. We got Steven Salazar, William Flores, Lori, Damian, Brandon, Bright, Old Jay. We got Jamie, Matt. Who else we got? We got Brandon Hernandez, Austin Lugo, Jamie McNeil. Who else? Come on, let's hit some more. We got Danny. We got Diego, Michael, KG Baseball, Bright, Isaiah, Danny again. Sorry if I missed anybody. Hope everyone enjoyed the Yankee game this evening. Para, I have to say, really, really solid start to the series. I mean, it kind of felt like one of those games against the Rays from a few years ago, back when we used to dominate them for a while and they never used to kill us. But before we do get into the scoring and the box score of today, shout out to Alex with the $2 dono. Appreciate you, Alex. Always supporting the streams. Really do appreciate it. Cole's pitching tomorrow. Easy 2 out of 3, maybe even a sweep. Para. I don't know. I'm hoping. But listen, let's get into the scoring breakdown of tonight, how the Yankees got their runs, how the Rays got their single run. So Aaron Judge, top of the first, 8th home run of the season, solo shot to center field. That was an absolute bomb. I will take it, especially with the way Aaron Judge has been performing lately. You love to see this out of him, right?
Absolutely. It's like we saw him strike out over 10 times, I believe, last week. And for him to come into this series and just his first at bat, he swings it. That's what you need out of him.
No, yeah, you definitely need him to get hot, especially down the stretch. I mean, listen, we knew Judge wasn't going to stay that bad for that long. I kind of mentioned in the pregame today that like I kind of had a feeling Judge was going to do well today, just because he's not the type of guy who is going to be that bad for a significant period of time, right? He's going to come around eventually. But Yankees got their second run of the night in the top of the third, off of a pass ball by Zunino. I'm pretty sure he had almost 3 that inning.
He had back-to-back pass balls.
Yeah, terrible by Zunino. But then he kind of made up for it in the bottom half of the third with a solo shot. Bro, that ball was absolutely torched. I think it was 472.
It was 470. Originally, I thought they said 427 on Twitter, but the broadcast confirmed it was 472.
Unreal, bro. Unreal. Mike Zunino, I feel like he only hits home runs against us. Like out of those 7 bombs this year, I feel like 6 of them are probably against the Yankees. Just saying. But then top of the 7th, Para, your twin, Gary Sanchez, kind of ended things for the Yankees. And solo shot of himself, opposite field shot. Para, got us through your at bat there.
Personally, I've only had 3 home runs this season, 2 in the beginning of the season against the Blue Jays. So I thought
4, Para. 4 now.
No, it's 4 now.
Oh, yeah.
Hitting this home run, it feels like I haven't hit a home run in about 2 years. So
shout out to you breaking out of that little slump that you're going through. But yeah, let's kind of break down the box score a little bit now. Let me zoom out a little bit so no one gets blind. Actually, we could actually do it this way. I'm not completely wait, where's the Yankees? Wait, hold up. Oh, there we go. All right, so kind of breaking things down here. DJ went 1 for 4 tonight. Typical DJ performance. It's kind of crazy because DJ is not having the best start to the season. He's still batting 280, not too shabby whatsoever. I think he's bound to get hot eventually. And when he does, wait for that batting average to absolutely skyrocket. Giancarlo Stanton kind of still breaking out of whatever little slump he was going through after the insane hot streak. Went 1 for 3 with a double and a walk tonight. So he's still having a really solid year. Look at that OPS, 921. Beautiful sight. Judge, 2 for 4 tonight with that solo shot. I think that's huge simply because, like we mentioned, Aaron Judge was in a brutal slump after being hot. So confidence. Urshela coming back for first game back from the injury, as well as Luke Voit. He went 1 for 4. That's cool. Luke Voit 0 for 3. However, Luke Voit was inches away from an opposite field shot. I thought that ball was gone, to be honest with you.
And sadly, he was taken out of the game towards the end of the game because he got hit by the pitch on his wrist, I believe.
You know, I was talking about this on Derek's stream. Like, he was taken out of the game, but I don't think it had anything to do with the hit by pitch. I think he would have been taken out of that game regardless if he got hit by pitch or not. I think they're just kind of being cautious with him, right? First game all season, especially back from the injury. I didn't see them playing him all 9 innings, especially after he ended off the previous inning as the last out. They kind of knew he wasn't going to be getting another at bat either. Yeah. So there was kind of no point for keeping him in the game there. So I'm not really too concerned about Luke. But Gleyber Torres 0 for 4. That's fine. That average isn't looking too pretty, but he's had a couple solid games before this. But Para, your boy, Gary Sanchez, solo shot. I don't think that earns him some playing time tomorrow with Cole on the mound. But it's obviously a good sight to see that when Gary is in the lineup, he could still produce a little bit. Hopefully he gets some more playing time. I don't know. But our boy, Clint Frazier, Para, roped a double over the center fielder's head. It's just so unfortunate because Clint, I feel like over the past couple of weeks, actually, he's had all these really hard hit balls, but they've just always been finding the fielder's gloves. So it was really nice to see him absolutely scorch a ball that found some dirt. You know what I mean?
Usually during a broadcast, whenever Michael Kay says something about Clint Frazier, the opposite happens. So he said Clint's been in a little bit of a slump, but he's going to pick it up because he has such a fast hands. And as soon as he said that, Clint ropes that double to center. And it's like it usually never happens because Kay always admires Brett Gardner and how you have a young Clint Frazier. But whatever. I'll take it.
Listen, Paris, speaking of Brett Gardner, 0 for 3 tonight. 0 for 3 tonight. Lowered his average to 190 on the year. It's kind of funny because Gardner does have that higher average than Clint, but his OPS is about 60 points lower. So I think that just kind of goes to show Clint is having a bad year, but not that bad if you kind of look at everything involved. But shout out to Amy with the $5 dono. Appreciate the dono, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
Hey, Pat, can you check out video of the most iconic Yankees moments of the Yankees 2020? Oh, I read that wrong. Iconic moments of the Yankees 2021 team. It's made by me. Yeah, if you link it, I'll check it out after the stream. But I appreciate the dono, Amy. Let me go down to the pitching from tonight, actually. Jordan Montgomery, Para, the boy that you like to call the new age Andy Pettitte. 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 9 Ks. This was almost the performance that you predicted when we were at the game.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking about. I predicted 10 home runs last week. 10 strikeouts last week. And if he did, you get me a beer. Of course, he wants to get 9 strikeouts against the Rays, one team we would despise in our division. But you know what? I'll take it. This is what we need out of him.
Bro, it's kind of nice because I feel like this was easily his best start this season if you take out the one against Baltimore early on in the year. And I think it's kind of promising because we're starting to see a little bit more consistency from Monty. I don't know if he could necessarily still solidify himself as the Yankees number 2 because I think Kluber has kind of taken that in the palm of his hands. But, Monty is the Yankees solid 3, 4 maybe at this point.
I don't think he's our number 3.
Yeah, fair enough. You could make the argument that Domingo could be that guy as well. He's pitched pretty well. As much as we don't like Domingo Germán, he's pitched pretty damn well. But also, you know who's pitching pretty well? Jonathan Loaisiga. Came in for 2 innings of work, only gave up 1 hit, no earned runs, just 1 walk and 1 K. Love to see that out of him. And then to wrap things up, Aroldis Chapman, the showstopper, Aroldis Chapman, 1 inning of clean work, gave up the walk, got himself into a little bit of a jam. Didn't seem like himself. What was the trainer report for him? He had a sore nail or something?
Yeah, sore nail.
Okay, well, I mean, nothing too serious. So yeah, I mean, listen, glad to see that out of the Yankees pitching tonight, just because it's so nice to finally see them be able to just sit down that Rays lineup. Bro, that Rays lineup is not good, but for some reason it seems like every time we play them, they're able to just rake against us, right?
Yeah.
And for once, we finally went to the Trop and started off the series on a great note, right?
That's what you have to do, because I think the last time the Yankees actually had a good series with the Rays was back in 2019, because it was around this time where Gio Urshela had that walk-off against the Rays.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that big of a sample size, because I know they only went to the Trop like a handful of times last year. But even if you bring this year into account, the Yankees have been very, very, very bad there. Very bad against the Rays in general. So I think, like we said in the pregame, setting the tone for the series with Cole on the mound tomorrow, tonight was a must-win game. So if you could leave the Trop with 2 out of 3 at least, I think that kind of changes the entire momentum of this Yankees-Rays rivalry, right? Because for the past 2 years, they've dominated us in every aspect of life, right? Mentally, emotionally, physically, just Parrot, like they've assaulted us. Like, it's been bad. So now if we could kind of set the tone against them, that means a lot. But let's take a look at some of these comments. Brendan Hernandez, this one pisses me off a little bit. Not going to lie. Voit kind of disappointed. Bro, I mentioned this in the pregame. I predicted a home run out of Voit tonight, but it's like, bro, this is the dude's first game all season. If he goes 0 for 10, like, give him a break. You know what I mean? Like, you can't expect him to come back first game and just be an absolute dog, right?
They're going to mention his AAA performance, but you're going to compare AAA to
if you're doing that, just you're bozo. It's as simple as that, bozo. Also, did you see that I think a second Yankee staff member tested positive for COVID?
I did.
Yeah. Now,
I don't think they said the name of the person, but Aaron Boone said he doesn't see why they shouldn't be playing tomorrow.
Yeah, so I don't see why they wouldn't be either. But I do want to bring this up because I brought it up on Derek's stream. To the 2 reporters who kind of broke the news today that the Yankees had 5 coaches who tested positive, Marly Rivera, John Heyman. My thing is, like, this is a serious situation, right? Like, you don't really mess around, like, saying that people have tested positive for COVID when it's not a very confirmed report. I know all the reporters nowadays are all about being number one and all about kind of being the first to it rather than being credible. But that was a disaster of a situation today, because here we are a couple hours before game time thinking that the Yankees have 5 coaches that tested positive for COVID, right? No. We're thinking they were all vaccinated. Apparently, no. It was just one. The other ones were pending results. It seems like one other coach tested positive. So I don't know. I guess they're still going to be playing, but it's definitely not 5. So I guess that's kind of the bright spot. And I think it just goes to show how bad journalism has become. Right, it's all about being the first one to get the clicks rather than being the most accurate.
It's not only with the Yankees, but I don't know if you saw it on Twitter with Passan or it was Rosenthal. They took it from a fake source on a Twitter account saying that Kelenic was going to come up from the Seattle Mets. Yeah, he's coming back Thursday, but they supposedly it was from a fake Twitter account that originally the news came up that he was going to come out this week, but it wasn't until like Passan later tweeted it.
It's social media, bro. It's social media. Yeah. It's kind of given all the reporters access to just on the second kind of breaking news, and everyone wants to be the first to get the clicks and the engagement on their account. So yeah, that's essentially what happened today. But it definitely frustrated me, because here we are trying to like plan for the pregame, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, wait, the Yankees have 5 coaches that tested positive and all of them were vaccinated. Like, something about that just didn't make sense from the start. Right, it
was just like a whole roller coaster from the hours of 4 to 6 o'clock. It was just a roller coaster because you see one person tweets it, and then another person tweets like,
but
what to believe.
Listen, kind of going off of that, I guess Matt Blake wasn't there today because I guess he was quarantining due to. I'm pretty sure he was one of the coaches who had to be tested. But Mike Harkey kind of took over for the pitching coach spot. And Para, I'm going to be honest, we haven't really seen that much of Mike Harkey because he's the bullpen coach. Yeah. But I really liked his presence today. Going out there and kind of like talking to Loaisiga, and then when Loaisiga got back on the bench, it was just a really nice just atmosphere. It seems like he's ruthless, and I feel like that's exactly what the Yankees need, you know?
I mean, I like Harkey. I remember when he was always the Yankees pitching coach, and then he left for Arizona, and then somehow, some way, he came back to the Yankees. So actually, he's one of the best bullpen coaches in the league, so I respect him entirely.
He's awesome.
Especially he was basically yelling at Loaiza because he's like telling him, like, you don't see Matt Blake doing that, you don't see Aaron Boone doing that, but I love his grit. Him and Phil Nevin are one of my two favorite coaches on this team.
No, I know, and shout out to Phil Nevin. I know he has COVID, but I think he's asymptomatic, so I think he'll be just. And
fine. He's also fully vaccinated too, so.
And he's a dog. He's an absolute dog. Danny says, Pat, how many games have you been at this year? Just one. The game that we vlogged last Tuesday? Last Wednesday?
Last Wednesday.
But
we are trying to plan another unhinged trip next month.
We can't announce the day. Okay. There you go.
Sorry. It's not guaranteed, but we're pro.
No, yeah, not guaranteed. No date is gonna be named. Let's see. Let's take a look at some of these comments. Leanna says, thank God Cole is on the mound tomorrow. I would be saying thank God Cole is on the mound tomorrow if the Yankees lost today. I'm just going to say that it's a blessing Gerrit Cole is on the mound tomorrow, simply because you already took game one, and now we're just so blessed to have Gerrit Cole on the mound in game two. You kind of just solidified winning the series. Not to get too cocky, I'm just saying.
Over or under 12 strikeouts tomorrow for Cole?
Over. Slam that. Maybe I'm just being a little bit too bold. I'm still slamming that over just because I like to be optimistic. Bro, there's no reason to be pessimistic here.
I'm just going to make a wild guess. 15 strikeouts for Cole tomorrow.
Parrot, you always come up with the most specific numbers, and
You have to.
Whatever. Let's see.
One question I had for you. Do you think Taillon is going to actually have a solid outing his next start? Because usually he's always struggled in the beginning and he's coming out strong. But do you think from beginning to his final inning, we'll see a full great outing from Jameson Taillon?
Well, that'll be on Thursday, correct? Because he is pitching the final game against the Rays. If we're kind of going based off his last start against the Nationals, which I think was the most promising, because it might have not been his best start kind of stuff-wise, because he did give up 3 runs. But I think he's coming off what is his best start because he did go 6 1/3, right? And I think the length is exactly what we've been missing out of Taillon. So I think his next start against the Rays on Thursday is going to be the one where he puts both together, right? He's going to have his ace stuff, and he is going to be able to go the length. So, yeah, I think we're going to be able to see Taillon's best start as a Yankee on Thursday. I don't think that's a hot take. What, do you think so?
No, I hope so. It's just like this kid has so much promise. I know he's rusty and he hasn't pitched in 2 years, but he's one of those pitchers I want to see excel with this team.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
We need a solid rotation, especially if we make the postseason.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if the Yankees make the postseason, thinking that they don't acquire Scherzer, I think Taillon would probably be their 3, maybe their 4. I don't know. But he would definitely play a key role in that rotation. But I would still prefer Scherzer any day of the week.
Yeah.
Let's see. There was one. Oh, here we go. KG Baseball says, Pat, who do you like better, Frazier or DD? This is tough. I think I'd have to say Frazier just because, 1, I've actually met Clint, and 2, Clint's on the big league roster, so it's kind of easy to see him on like an everyday basis. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Great guy.
Let's see. Pat, this is one of the best pitching staffs in MLB right now. Last time our rotation was this great was in 2009. That's sick. Bro, it is sick. It's unreal to kind of look at the Yankees rotation right now and be so confident in it, right?
Yeah. You know who else was pitching in 2009? Andy Pettitte. You know who's pitching 12 years later? His twin, Jordan Montgomery.
Moving on. The reason that Harkey is an intense guy is because he's a holdover from the Girardi regime. He has that Joe G mindset. Love to see it. Johnny, you make a solid point here. You do make a solid point. He's one of the only holdovers, really.
Yeah,
I can't think of another one. Meredith said that Reggie Willits just tested positive for COVID. So are we assuming that he was the second coach, the second staff member that tested positive?
I'm assuming.
I guess he's not. He can't be the third one, right?
No.
I wonder if I could find any confirmation.
Do we not have a third base coach and a first base coach now?
Oh, I see. So Reggie Willits tested positive along with a support staff member. So does that mean that there's 3? Because of Nevin, Willits, and then a support staff member, that's 3. So now I kind of feel like a doofus for clowning Marly Rivera. But still, no, they should get clowned because at the time it wasn't 5 testing positive, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. When they made their statements, they said 5 automatically tested
which
positive.
Wasn't true.
But then at the time, Boone came out and said it was Phil Nevin, and there's others that are taking tests and are under quarantine. So we're just finding out all this information now because these tests were going on as the game was going on.
I'm just confused, bro, because like I'm no doctor, right? But I thought like the whole point of the vaccine was kind of just like it significantly increases your chances of not getting COVID, right?
To be honest with you,
like what's the percentage?
They think Johnson & Johnson 75% effective.
Oh, it's only 75?
Johnson & Johnson was basically made for kids our age, for college kids, the one and done.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, but then it's like Pfizer's like, Pfizer and Moderna on the 90% percentile effective. That's why it's 2 shots.
Listen, because now that it's 3 members of the coaching staff, and apparently they were all vaccinated. I mean, yeah. I just hope that this doesn't mean that they cancel any games. That I don't see why it would.
I don't see any games being canceled, especially since the Yankees were one of the first teams to get the approval of being that 85% team vaccinated and not being able to wear masks during games. So I don't really, but I'm surprised. But actually, they did have a team meeting before the game.
They did, and kind of discussed whether or not they were comfortable, and they kind of came to a conclusion. I mean, I think they said there was a handful of guys who weren't comfortable, but I think they kind of agreed as a team that they were comfortable playing. So I think as long as the Yankees are comfortable playing, I don't really see an issue with it, right? I don't know. So Ruben, shout out to Ruben with $2 dono. Appreciate you, my man. The vax does not stop it; it helps you fight it. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. You could still get COVID, but I don't think you could spread it, or your symptoms are very mild.
Yeah, listen, if most of the players are vaccinated, I don't really see a problem with playing at all. But you never know with the Yankees. You never know with Major League Baseball. I don't know. Let's see.
Did they ever come out with that statement they had?
No. I bet you that was a lie, too, because Brendan Cuddy of NJ Advanced Media, I don't know. But yeah, whatever it is. I think he came out and he's the one that said MLB had an announcement to make about the New York Yankees. That never came out. I don't what's going on with the media, bro.
It's like they said that they were going to talk to everybody before the game started, and then they were going to say later on tonight. So it's almost 11 o'clock at night, and we still haven't gotten it.
I'm so sick of this nonsense, bro. Like, it's so enough already. Like, all this COVID stuff, like, bro, this is so 2020. Like, get it out of here. I'm sorry, but, like, we can't be canceling games for, like, 3 coaching staff members who tested positive. I'm sorry, you can't do that.
Pat, I'm sorry to break it to you. Garrett Cole said the best way. This thing's not going away for a few years. You're still going to have your outbreaks and everything.
No, but I think that's perfect. But, like, yes, outbreaks are going to happen, but you have to learn how to work through it, right? When outbreaks happen like this, especially when it's 3 members of the coaching staff and no players, bro, you just play through it. Because, so the Yankees cancel the rest of the series because 3 coaches tested positive. That messes everything up for both teams because now you're going to have to play multiple double headers throughout the season or play on off days. It's so useless. Play the game. I'm sorry if I'm getting heated, but I don't see any reason to cancel any games. It would be stupid if they decide to do so. So back to baseball. Let's see. Pat, the Yankees are undefeated when Luke is playing this year. Yeah, they are undefeated. So that means now, since Luke Voit is back, 1-0. Love to see that.
I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but You saw a different vibe from the Yankees. They didn't look like that the depressed team that we saw in the beginning of the year. They looked like there was more energy coming out of that dugout today.
Well, I mean, because they're also not playing as half as bad as they did in the beginning of the year. I mean, listen, right now the Yankees record is, what is it, 19-16, right?
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's 19-16. Yeah, 19-16. If you would have told me when they were 5-10 that in the middle of May that they would be 19-16, I'd sign up for that any day of the week. No?
Yeah. We're in second place now. What? Still 3 games behind Boston?
Yes, but like I don't really care about standings right now. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really look at standings until like June, July, just because they don't matter, bro. I understand the Red Sox had a really hot start to the season, but they do not have the talent to keep it up all year. They're going to crash and burn so soon, and the Yankees are just going to rise to the top. It's how baseball works.
Speaking about July, I saw this tweet by Jake Montgomery. If you look at that July schedule with the Yankees, there's that span of those 17 games really makes it or breaks for the Yankees.
In July?
In July, yeah.
Well, I was actually looking at the Yankee schedule today. And I'll actually pull it up for the stream here, only because I don't know if you've noticed this, Para, but in the month of June, they have a ridiculous amount of off days. This is the Yankees' June schedule here. Look at how many off days they have in the month of June.
Bro, they have 4 or 3 straight Mondays off. That's very rare.
And then in that second week of June, they have an off day Monday and Friday in between that homestand and the Twins and Phillies series. And then I guess if you want to look at July as well.
But this is the month span he was talking about. They play the Mets, then they play the Mariners, then the Astros, and then you have the All-Star break. And then you have that span between Boston, Philadelphia, and Boston again with Tampa to finish it off before they play Miami.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if we want to look that deep into the season, we look at July. Yeah, I mean, before the All-Star break, you have the Houston series and then the Red Sox, Phillies, Red Sox, Rays, Marlins. Yeah, I mean, you have a pretty solid lineup there. But hopefully by then the Yankees are pretty hot. And also, hopefully by then they have Max Scherzer.
I really saying. Like, it's very rare you see the Yankees make a trade in early April. We got Odor, and then they traded Tauchman. But I really hope come July, you just hear a trade that happened. I don't want to hear that Luis Severino and Zach Britton, your deadline acquisitions, because honestly, even though we might have the best rotation right now with our ERA and everything, we need another starter. Because honestly, they don't have any faith in Debbie. Like, honestly, they drain that kid's confidence. And then Severino's going to be coming out of the bullpen most likely. So,
yeah, I don't know. I think they're going to try Sevy out as a starter. He might find his way into the bullpen by the postseason. I guess we'll see how he does. But I want to bring up Ed King's comment. Shout out to Ed King. I watched an early April Unhinged, and you were freaking out. Now, here's my thing. There were some freakouts in those early April Unhinges, but I think reasonably so, right? And I think after we kind of went on our rants about how poorly the team was performing, I think we always made sure to kind of note that it's still early in the year, right? And that the Yankees would be able to turn it around and they would eventually go on a crazy hot streak and win the division. I think after every one of those bad games, I kind of solidified to the entire chat. I'm like, listen, the Yankees are still winning the division this year. Like, it's as simple as that. It's just how baseball works. And I think in the beginning of the year, all of us were kind of hung over from the 60-game season and kind of like still thought it was so important to get off to a hot start. Because in 2020, it really was. Like, if the Yankees got off to that kind of start last year, we would be in trouble. Because in the 60-game season, you really need to start off hot. But yeah, I mean, always try to keep the confidence. That's kind of the key. Let's see. What do we got in the chat? William Flores with some positivity. Yankees going 17-4 this month. I like it. I like it. Just saying. Listen, if we had to kind of predict how they're going to do this month, I don't think that that's too crazy to think. Just because maybe I'm just the beacon of positivity. I don't know. But if you look at their schedule, it's not that tough. After Tampa, they go up against the Orioles and then the Rangers. And then after that is the White Sox and Blue Jays at home, which you could say are pretty tough series. But I'm excited to see the White Sox series because I think those are the two best teams in the American League. But the Blue Jays, I think the Yankees could capitalize on them. And then after that, it's Detroit to wrap up the month. So, listen, it's not that crazy to think about.
Is it in Detroit or we're playing Detroit home again?
in Detroit.
Okay.
It's actually weird because it's a 3-game road trip. So after this long road trip that the Yankees have now, where they go to Tampa, Baltimore, and then Texas for 4, they come back for 6 games against the White Sox and Blue Jays, and then they go to Detroit for 3, and then they come back home to play Tampa. Yeah,
It's a lot of
little
travel.
bit weird. A little bit weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just been a little bit far out since I've seen a 3-game road trip, but I don't think that they're too common.
I don't want Judge to be sitting on a plane too long. You know what I'm saying?
Well, traveling makes them sore. Ruben says, I would love to see Frazier get his average to 250 by the first week of June. Bro, I'd love to see that too.
I would love to see like a clobbered Clint Frazier home run to left field.
Let me ask you a question, Para.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Clint finishes the season with above or below 25 bombs?
If he goes at this rate, I could see below by 25, but I can just see him just making it to 25. If he gets hot next month, he can get it to there. But if he continues just to hit the balls hard and not have any effect to it, I could see maybe even below 20.
I can't see a scenario where he hits below 20 just because, like you said, I think he gets really hot eventually. Now, whether it be this month or June or July, I think it's going to happen eventually. It's only a matter of time as long as he keeps getting the at-bats. But I hope so. In the words of Kodak Black, I hope so. But listen, shout out to Lori C with the $5 dono. Appreciate you, Lori. Really do appreciate that. You are the best. Just keep winning series, and that's the key. We kind of mentioned this when the Yankees were on their really, really bad streak here. Just keep winning series. You take 2 out of 3 against every team, you're going to end up in first place eventually. Just how it works. And especially if you could take the series from the Rays in Tropicana Field, Para, you're doing something right. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Chat, that is going to wrap things up for today's post game. Appreciate everyone for stopping by. Tomorrow, the Yankees do play another game. I can almost guarantee they will. I hope so. But listen, Garrett Cole will be on the mound. Game time starts at 7, I believe. So we'll be live for the pregame at 6 o'clock Eastern time. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. You guys know the deal. We're going live before and after every single Yankees game this season. But yeah, that's going to wrap things up. We will see you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Let's go, Yankees. Peace.